Let's discuss lesson number 8, Memories of Childhood, written by Zitkala-Sa and BAMA. Cutting off my long hair, and we too are human beings. Whenever I look back to the Indian history and the world history, I found and I traced different kind of evils there in the society. And there are many evils still in existence. Like, जब हम इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में बात करते हैं, there is a discrimination, there is a kind of evil which exists in the countries are like the casteism, racism, communalism. There is a discrimination on the base of religions, on the base of race, on the base of education, low, high, And not only that, but you will see that bandhuwa majduri, bonded labors, there are biduri marriage and, child marriage, etc. Right, sati pratha, and sometimes there are the place where it is called the johar, etc. Not only that and these, but also in the different country of the world, you will find these evil in a different way. Like these are the Negro and these are the white, these are the rich and these are the poor, these are the Asians and these are the Europeans and these are that and these are those. Right? That way, these are the things which affect our country and which affect the development of any country in a negative way. So, dear student, you have seen that with the passage of time, we have changed so much, but there are some evil that still in existence. So, the choice is here. That should we follow all these things blindly? Are these things not affecting the country in a negative way? Are these things not tether the progress of any country? So here in this lesson you will find two words where there is a discriminations on the base of what that you will find. How there are the girls, what to do, what is good, what is bad, how to solve it. See.
Hello friend, this is Kashish Gupta from Government Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore, reading in class plus 2. Today I picked out a very crucial question from the first section, cutting off my long hair, of Memories of Childhood chapter.
Hello everyone, my name is Malvi Verma and I am from Government Model Girls Senior Secondary School, Portmore.
And myself, Bitul Thakur. I am a student of 12th standard in Government Girls Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore.
Hello everyone, I am Shruti. I study in Government Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore, Shimla.
Hi everyone, myself Khushbu Sharma from Government Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore, Shimla.
This is Riddhi Gupta.
This is me, Rachna Mehta, student of Government Senior Secondary School, Portmore, Shimla.
My name is Aditika. I am a student of class 12.
Hi, I'm Calzin. I'm in plus 2 class. I'm a medical student in Government Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore, Shimla.
This is Nikita here.
I'm Sneha Rana, student of plus 2 class in Government Model Senior Secondary School, Portmore.
This is Harshita here.
Question is, what does Zitkala-Sa mean by eating by formula? The answer of this particular question is so simple. The answer is, the ringing of a large bell has summoned all the students to the dining room, and then first bell was tapped. Here all the students drew out their chairs from under the table, and then second bell was tapped. At this time every student were seated on their respective seats. A man's voice was heard at one end of the hall. Every student hung their head over the plates, and the man ended up with his mutterings. And then third bell was tapped. Here all the students picked up their knife as well as their fork and start eating. This is an answer of this question, that what does Zitkala-Sa mean by eating by formula.
My question is, why was Zitkala-Sa terrified when Judevin told her that her hair would be cut short? So the answer is, Zitkala-Sa hid herself because she had got to know that the authorities wanted to cut her long hair. In the community, hair of mourners, prisoners, war and cowards were cut, and therefore she made a vain attempt to prevent her hair from being shingled by herself.
Bama and Zitkala, they both belong to marginalized communities. Zitkala was an American Indian woman who was ill-treated by whites, who adopted force and oppression to compel the natives to shed their age-old custom and traditions. The worst indignity she suffered was cutting off her long hair. Her long and beautiful hair was cut after she was dragged out. She cried, she resisted by kicking and scrambling wildly as she was tied fast in the chair, but she did not submit. No one came to help her, no one came to support her. On the other hand, Bama belonged to Dalit community. She was very much upset by the behavior of the people belonging to higher caste towards lower caste people. She has also experienced untouchability when she was in third standard.
Zitkala-Sa felt rather anguished and indignant when her long hair was cut. She lost her spirit and felt as helpless as a puppet. She got the feeling of an animal driven by a herder and desperately looked for some comfort. With her long hair being shingled like a coward, she mourned in anguish. She also felt she had lost her distinct cultural recognition and identity.
Bama took 30 minutes to an hour to reach home as she would watch all the fun and games that were taking place on the road. She would also stop and look at the shops and the bazaars and even see the performances of snake charmers and monkeys.
How long it take Bama to walk home from her school and why? Answer. It took Bama half an hour to 1 hour to walk home from her school, although it was possible to cover the distance in 10 minutes. This was because on the way many attractions slowed her down. These includes fun, games, entertaining novelties and oddities in the streets, the shops and the bazaars.
Bama brothers told her that because they were born into a lower communities, they never given any honor, dignity and respect. But if they studied and made progress, they could get rid of these indignities. His words made a deep impression on Bama.
In India, the lower caste peoples have been treated very cruelly by higher caste peoples, who advised Bama to overcome this act and untouchability and how. So the answer of this question is, there is no fact in denying that the lower caste peoples are not treated by the higher caste people. It is very true that the lower caste peoples are very badly treated by higher caste people. Bama was a very small girl. She was in third standard when she faced untouchability and very cruel act by the higher caste people because she belongs to marginalized community. All this made her very upset and she wants to overcome this act. Her brother advised her to make her study as her weapons to overcome this act and to throw away the untouchability, etc. So she started studying very hard and with full determination to overcome the untouchability. And she stood first in her class. And all this made her overcome from the untouchability and the cruel act that was done by the lower caste people at that time. So this tells us how Bama makes her studies as her weapons to fight against untouchability and humility.
The landlord man asked Bama's brother in which street he lived in order to find out his caste. During those time, untouchability was prevalent. Each caste lived in a particular street. By inquiring about street where one lived helps to determine his caste.
We are going to discuss a chapter named Memories of Childhood, which is written by Bama. The chapter arises a question that when did Bama get to know about the social discrimination faced by the people of her community? Bama was in her third standard when she used to walk from her school to her home. One day she saw an elderly man carrying a small packet of some eatables. The man held the packet by its strings without touching it and he extended it to the landlord. The landlord opened it and began to eat. Bama found it something funny, but her elder brother Anand told her that the man was not doing something funny. He belongs to the lower caste, that's why he couldn't touch the eatables.
But advised it Anna for Bama. My answer is Anna loves his sister Bama dearly and acts as a true guide and philosopher. He told her that wings Dalits they would never be given any dignity or respect. He advised her to study and make progress to throw away these indignities. He advised to his sister about the indigenous method of outgoing the upper classes by winning laurels in their examination and thus earning their admiration.
Zitkala and Bama have lot in common as far as their suffering is concerned. They both belong to marginalized communities. Zitkala was a victim of culture invasion, which became a threat for her own culture identity, whereas Bama was a victim of untouchability.
Memories of Childhood is a portrayal of two autobiographical accounts, one by American Indian woman and second by Tamil Dalit writer. Both the stories highlight women's oppression, caste barriers, exploitation and discrimination, etc. that always tend to pull them down. Both the stories advocate the statement of seeds of rebellions which are shown early in our life. Children may be innocent or young, but they cannot tolerate injustice against them if they are determined. This extract shows two different autobiographical accounts or episodes of two different girls living in different and distant places. Both the women belong to the marginalized communities who look back on their childhood and reflect on the relationship with mainstream culture. Both the women were the victims of prejudice and injustice. Both the women were determined and they experienced sorrow, outrage, and indignation and were deeply affected by the unpleasant memories of childhood. Both the women were strong enough and they fought against the injustice. However, they used the power of pen to fight oppression.
I hope this was great video and you must have learned the best lesson from this topic, right? So stay with me for the next video. Thank you and have a great time ahead.